Hello, friends. I am serious when I say that I actually, um, Dari, are you really cutting your own hair? Super impressed. I'm not nearly that brave. I was a long time ago because my hair looks pretty, like you can't really tell if I cut it or someone else cut it, but until I cut it, and then you can tell. But when I was younger, I did definitely do more bravery with my hair. It looks like we're all good to go. I feel like everyone got their, oh, I love it, ready to rumble. Cindy, that sounds like a challenge. We're going to go ahead and get started. And I think that everyone is here that wanted to be. Marnie might have to quickly get dressed, but we'll save the good stuff for a minute or two. There we go. There we go. Changing our music setup. So just like usual, you can use water bottles, you can use cans, you can use anything. You don't have to use handheld weights, and you can use just the weight of your arms as well. So as you're coming through that movement, we're going to start by rolling the weight up onto the balls of the feet, lifting the heels. Perfect. Yay, Marn. Slide the weight onto the heels, lift the toes. And then slide the weight onto the outside rim of the foot, so you're pulling the inside rim up and off the floor. Get that timer out of the way so Cindy does not panic that I'm going to put a timer on there. And then slide the weight onto the inside rim of the foot. So you're intentionally taking that and changing your balance front to back. Slide the weight back up onto the balls of the feet, lift the heels. Slide back onto your heels, lift your toes. Roll out so you come to that outer rim of the foot. And then pull into the inside rim of the foot. From there, we take our weight to all four quadrants, connect your feet to the mat or the floor, and then soften your knees. So we bend the knees. You're exaggerating that slide forward. I don't mean to make you sound that way, Cindy. My morning people, they're like, where's the timer? We missed the timer. So people have likes on both ends of it. So it's not just you or me, like we all have preferences. Flex your quads, pull the knees back over the heels. I feel like it's not needy, it just means we've been together a long time, so I know what you like. And then relax the knees, place them right over the feet, squeeze your behind, press the hips forward. Abdominals are nice and tight. The glutes are strong. And then reverse that, send the hips back. What I was explaining in text earlier with the, because I had with the email versus text, some of you, it's easier to have it on your phone and some it's easier to have it on your email. So I'm trying to do both, shift to the right. But I think what I'm doing is I'm sending them like rapid fire to get them all out, all the different time slots. And so then when I go back to look at my sent, not all of them went through. So I'll slow down. I'll take a deep breath and slow down when I'm doing that. Shift to the left. Oh, I love that, Cindy. And then bring the hips center. So the hips are right over the knees, right over the ankles. Roll the shoulders forward, tilt the chin down. So as you're drawing the chin to the chest, we're lifting the cervical spine, lifting the crown of the head, drawing the chin forward. And then roll the shoulders back and down, lift the heart, squeezing the shoulder blades back and down. You open up through the front. It looks like we don't have Megan on here today to check in for Sharon. Are you with us, Sharon? I'm gonna assume you are. And then release the shoulders right over the hips, right over the knees, right over the ankles. Take the right ear to the right shoulder. I always panic that I didn't get our code to everybody. You're right. What's so funny about that, Lisa, now that you say that, and shift to the other side, I'm very slow when I'm counting in class, but in real life, I have very little patience. So I should exercise that both with Ben and when I'm sending my texts and emails. It's a really good suggestion. And then bring your head center. So the head is right over the shoulders, right over the hips, right over the knees and the feet. Take a deep breath in, your arms come up. Exhale, drop the shoulders and hinge forward. Here we go, Cindy, we're getting ready to rumble. Round your back, bring your hands to the floor. Walk your hands forward so you're in a high hover position. Remember, anytime we're in a high hover, we can opt to set our knees down. Low hover. High hover, walk your hands back, scoop your belly button in, and slowly roll yourselves all the way up. So even that walk in and back from that position, from plank to that inverted V, deep breath in, that's valuable. Exhale, drop the shoulders and hinge, scoop your belly button in, round your back, draw the hands to the mat. Walk your hands forward, scoop your belly button in. Low hover, knees can be up or down. High hover, walk your hands back, lengthening your hamstrings, and slowly roll yourselves all the way up. Squeeze your glutes. One more time, big deep breath in, arms up. Exhale, drop the shoulders and hinge. Scoop your belly in, round your back. Relax the back of the neck. Walk the hands forward. High hover, low hover, high hover, walk your hands back, scoop your belly button in, slowly roll all the way up, squeeze your glutes, pull your belly button in, stack the shoulders right over your hips. If you have some weights, go ahead and pick those up. Again, water bottles, cans, no weights, just the hands alone, all of that is perfect. Feet are about hip width apart, and then we sink down while we curl. So you drop down and lift up. Drop down and lift up. I'm gonna move just a little bit closer to you in case you want to talk to me so I can read it. Good thing I'm so short. Gives me a lot of options for how close I can get to the camera. Last 4, 3, last 2. Now watch your change. You're going to come down, so just like before, you come down, 1 curl, and then stand up. Down, 1 curl while you're down there, and curl up. So picture it's 3, 2, 1, and stand. 3, 2, 1, and stand. When you stand up, squeeze your glutes, press your hips forward, lift your heart. So you're coming up nice and tall. Squeeze. 3, 2, 1, squeeze. Now when we come up, we have the option to lift the right foot. 3, 2, 1, lift your left foot. 3, 2, 1, and lift. 3, 2, 1, and lift. A little balance challenge. So there's so many different ways we can work that. We could tap the foot instead. We could take that into a knee lift instead, or that full leg lift. Squeeze. We have 4 more. Last 3. Last 2. Scoop the belly button in. Last 1. And then take that to singles. So we drop down, lift up, drop down, lift up. Squeeze the glutes when we come up. Drop it, lift it, drop it, lift it. Last 8, 7, 6, 5. Heart rate should start to pump just a little bit as we're moving our body, just a little bit more rapid. Last 2 and 1. Now continue with the leg lift with a curl. Curl it, set it down. Curl it, set it down. Curl it, set it down. So as I'm coming into that balance, I'm trying to stand nice and tall, so I press my hips forward as I lift for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, last 2. Now just your right leg up and down, so we'll continue, right leg up and down. When we put the arms and the leg together, I could do the leg by itself, I could do the arms by itself, or I put the two together nice and strong for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, finding that stability and that balance on your left foot. Last 2. Now check it out. Hinge forward, pump the arms so that right leg is back to that back wall. I could always kickstand the foot. So I could be here, I can be here. If here serves me better tonight, that's great too. So again, adjust, pay attention to what feels right for your joints. For 8, 7, draw the navel to spine. Last 6, 5, 4, last 3, 2, and 1. Bring it back to the front, kick it, and bring it home, kick it, and bring it home. Balance challenge on that left leg for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. We're going to flow right through. Take it behind, reach, and pump. Strong abdominals. The body is going to want to tilt the shoulders forward. You're pulling those shoulders back and down for 8. When we're in that hinge forward, we keep the abdominals pulled in nice and tight. Last 4, 3, last 2. We have 1 more round. Last 1, kick it forward and curl for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Flow through, pump the arms for 8, 7. Try and turn this right hip to the floor. Instead of letting it open out to the side, we twist it right down towards the mat for 4, last 3, last 2. Now both feet together. This time you drop down and lift shoulder height, down and lift shoulder height. So remember before in this position with the legs, we did a bicep curl. Now we're coming into that shoulder front raise. Same thing without the weight, so I could be right here. If I feel tension in the neck, the weights aren't worth it. So again, we're trying to lubricate, create some lengthening movement through the arms, through the shoulders. The elbows get to lengthen out for 4, 3, 2. Now the same pattern, so check it out. We come down, 1 raise, down, lift up. 3, 2, 1, and lift. 3, 2, 1, squeeze your behind. 2, 1, and lift. That's that same AK from last week. So every time you come up, squeeze and close your glutes tight. Squeeze. Now, on the next one, lift your left leg. So we come up, find your balance. 3, 2, 1, hold. 3, 2, 1, and hold. 3, 2, 1, hold. Strong and tight. Keeping your glutes and your abdominals your powerhouse. 4 more. Last 3. Nice fluid movement. 2. Last 1. Now singles, down and up, we drop down, lift left, down, lift right. Strong retraction of the shoulder blades for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now back to that curl, and this time the left leg comes up and down in the front. You balance on the right foot, retract the shoulders, tighten your abdominals, and then curl as you lift the leg. Same thing if I want to do the arms alone, great. If I want to do the leg alone, great. I can do it without the weights. Find what you like tonight. For 8, 7, 6, 5. Balance challenge on that right foot. Last 4, 3. Now it's going to flow all the way through. So you come forward, sweep it back, and pump. Retract, open up the heart. For 8, same options. I could be here with a kickstand. I could be here. For 4, 3, pull your belly button in. 2, and 1, sweep it in front, curl. Round 2 of 3. Squeeze your right glute. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, sweep all the way back, press up. Draw the navel to spine, twist that left hip to the floor. So it's going to want to open up, you're turning it down towards the mat. For 8, 7, 6, strong glute. 5, 4, 3, last 2. Now we have one more round. Sweep it through and curl for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, sweep it through and pulse for 8, 7, 6, draw the navel to spine. Last 4, 3, 2. Now we're going to step out nice and wide, draw the hands down and up. So now we're changing the position of the feet. We're changing the orientation of the arm lift. Same options with or without the weights. Press your hips forward, cinch the glutes closed. So our turnout is going to be very individual. Some will be a little more turned forward, some turned out. Your knees shouldn't hurt. So find a position, lay your feet down to where that feels good on the knees, then only go in and out of that position that feels right for your joints. We have that same change in our pattern. So you come down and hold for 3, 2, 1, squeeze your behind. 3, 2, 1, and lift. 3, 2, 1, and lift. 3, 2, 1, and lift. Now you can stay right where you are on the lift. If you want, you alternate that leg lift. Pause. 3, 2, 1, hold. 3, 2, 1, hold. Remember, it's up to you to pick what makes the most sense for your body. Strong. We have 2 more. Last one. Now singles, control yourself. Down, pause. Down, pause. Squeeze the glutes. That could be right here. So many ways to work it out. Find what you like the best. It's all good. Last 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold that plie and then rotator cuff. Options with or without the weights. You may stay as you are or float the hands under, over, and then apply just a little pulse of the legs. So again, that movement, it should feel rhythmic. So nice and easy in the feet and the knees and the hips. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, last 2. Now taking the arm with or without the weight, reach it across the body, right to left. Again, increasing that range of motion, that movement for the fascia, for the muscle, for the joints. Lubricate the joints a little bit as we reach that are nice and big. Last 8. So again, we're trying to increase the blood flow just a touch. In 4, 3, 2, and then you find your center. And once again, over under with that rotator cuff, little tiny pulse of the legs. You can choose here. You could go underhand, under over, for 8, 7, 6. Let the arms float out to the side just a little bit. 4, 3, last 2, and 1. Reach over, last set. Squeezing the abdominals in nice and tight. So as we rotate, as you feel good in that movement, you can make it bigger side to side. So if you're turning your body bigger towards your side walls, that's going to be a little bit more work for the heart to pump. For 8, squeeze the glute as you turn your hip to the outer wall. For 4, 3, 2, and rotator cuff over under. Squeeze the glutes so the hips are pressed forward. Chest is lifted, heart is open. For 8, 7. Again, I could hang out right here. That pulse movement isn't great for everybody. Find if it's good for you tonight. Last 2, and 1. Rotate, bring the arm over. Hollow your abs. For 4, 3, last 2. Now that breaststroke move in the center, last 1. We're going to take the arms center and then sweep them out and around. Reach, sweep out and around. So I can go lower. I could set my weights down. Reach, circle it, reach, circle it. Or I have the weights in hand and I try and keep it chest level. Strong posterior deltoid, strong back of the shoulder. Soft knees, but they're not locked into that tight position, but you're not into a deep lunge or like a semi-squat. For 8, 7, pull your belly button in. 6, last 5, 4, 3, last 2. Then we get to reverse it, bring it in. Circle in and around, in and around. Strong shoulders for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Now watch the arms reach out to the side for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, and we're going to try and stand on one leg for our round 2. So bring the arms back to the heart, stand on your left leg, balance, and circle out. Breaststroke move, elbows are elevated. So again, when I stand on that one leg, I'm trying to find that balance point. I could kickstand this foot so that I'm balancing, but I have a little safety net. I could stand on both legs if that serves me better tonight, or we test our balance in that movement. 4, 3, 2, and reverse it, bring it in. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Now we're going to stay on that one leg if we can. Tip it and pull the arms open. So in that hinge position, you take it to that fly, where you're trying to find your balance and then control the weights up and down. I could be more upright. I could be lower. Find what works for you tonight. For 4, squeeze your left glute. Last 2 and 1. Switch feet, friends. So now you're on your right foot. Find your balance, breaststroke. Nice and strong. That whole circle through. Elbows again can come down a little bit lower. I can set my weight down. I could kickstand that left foot. For 8, 7, 6, 5, forward. Circle, pull forward. Nice and strong. Squeezing that right glute. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Tip forward, find your balance, and fly. Try not to jerk the weights. Control both the up and the down. I can come up higher to ease that gravity load. I can come down lower to increase that gravity load. Set your left toes down if you need to. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, last 3, last 2, and 1. Now set both feet down, take the arms, circle it back and around. So we're coming into that backstroke, full range of motion. Open, pull back, open, pull back. Scoop the navel to spine. As you're coming into that again, we're focusing on that retraction in the back. So we're really good in this front space. See if you can pull just a little farther back to that back wall. Now continuing with that, you can stay exactly as you are, or you circle, drop the hips, big circle, drop the hips. Allow your body to twist when the arm pulls back. Nice and strong. 5 to go. Last 4, 3, 2, last 1. From there, last thing standing, and then we do the same exact move down on our mat. So you're going to reach with control right to left. Now our goal is that we're torso rotating. So we're taking the rib and moving it side to side, side to side. Then from that, we're just adding a reach and an extension from that movement. Oh, yay. Me too. They're so good for us, especially because I know a lot of you are sitting at a desk for a long period of time these days. So loosening up those shoulders, so important. Last 8, 7, 6, 5. Pull the navel to spine just a little bit tighter. Last 2. Now we're going to take it and change the movement, change the intensity by changing our position. So now we come onto our knees. Pam, you may not want to be, if you have any inflammation or if you know you have any issues with your knees, you may want to either stay standing or come all the way onto your glutes. So we'll be in a seated position soon. So if you want to just jump into that, if your knees are bugging you to kneel, I have several layers of the mat underneath to give me a little more cushion. So you find what feels right tonight. Again, standing or seated will be less pressure on the kneecap. Same rotation of the body. The lower we go towards the floor, you have less micro movement. So it's going to make it a little bit more intense on the arms as you come out into that reach. and it forces the hips to stay a little bit more stable. For 8, 7, 6, relax your neck. 4, 3, last 2, and 1. Now the arms come down to the side, and then bend your hand down or your hip so that it's coming down towards the mat, sliding your hand towards the floor. Strong and tight. Squeeze your glutes and then bend from the side there. So you're coming into that lateral flexion intentionally as you come side to side, nice and strong for 8. So if I'm on my behind instead of my knees, I'm going to bend my elbows just because there won't be room for the extension of the arms. Same torso movement. Last 4, 3, 2. Oh, good, good. Last 1. And then bend to the right, lift the arms, bend to the left. So again, check it out. If I'm standing, this is perfect. If I'm kneeling, this is perfect. But if I'm seated on my bottom, I don't have the room for my arms to be long. So check it. I bring the elbows up, side bend. Bring the elbows up, side bend. So all of that is going to force lateral flexion, bringing your rib towards your hip. It's all good. Driving down, lifting up. Driving down, lifting up. For 8. Last 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. Last 2. Last 1. Now we'll all come onto our glutes. So everybody sits down so the legs are in front. Now this is going to have a different counter. So for some that felt great on the knees, this isn't going to feel good on your hips. So if you need to cross leg and lean forward a little bit, go for it. Find the position that serves you. Otherwise, abdominals are tight. We lean back and we curl the arms in. So when I'm in that, I feel my sits bones connect to the mat. So I want to watch that I'm not tucking the hips under and coming onto that sacrum, that one bony mass. I tilt the hips so that I have the 2 bony masses that are right underneath the glutes connected to the mat, and then I curl. If all I can feel is stress in the top of the thigh, then I can cross my legs and curl this way. Just like when we're together in class, my only suggestion if you're here is you come into this position and your body will naturally do the one that is most likely overstretched, flip the leg. So it'll be the one that you don't typically cross in front, and that's the one that I want you to cross in front if you're going cross navel to spine. Last 4. Now when we alternate, that's when you really want to pull in tight. Last 2, grip the abdominals and then alternate right to left. For some, you may want to widen your stance just a little bit to have a little bit more stability. Last 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, nice and strong, 3, last 2. Now with the weights, bringing the weights in front, you're going to open and close right to left. Same thing if I'm crossing the legs, same thing if I need my legs straight. I'm pulling that left arm back behind me and that right arm back behind me, scoop and hollow the abs. Now for our first position when we're on our back, I'm going to stay facing this way because I feel like it'll be easier for you to understand what I'm saying with our legs. But you'll feel a little bit like a pretzel. It's a little bit of a different movement to get into. So you may have to watch, stay seated and watch for a second and then lay back and come into position. Last 4. So for the beginning, we set our weights down. Last 2. Last 1. And then the weights go down. You're going to lay back. Your right leg stays straight. Your left leg is bent. And we're just tapping the left leg over the right. Now, for some, your hips will be too tight to do that. And then watch. I just go out and in with it on the outside of that right foot. So if that movement doesn't feel good on my hips, I'm right here. Otherwise, I'm right here. I can have my head down. I can have my head lifted. Or when that left leg crosses over, I twist towards it and back, towards it and back. Rotate and rotate and rotate. So the same thing is true. We have all these options for what the legs could be doing. Same thing is true if I want to keep my legs still and rotate and pull my right shoulder blade off the mat, then that's cool too. So you pick what works for you tonight for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, last 2, last 1. Now check it out. Take that left leg over the right and pulse the right leg up. Now again, if my hips are too tight and this is wrenching off the floor, I'm going to set that left leg on the left side of my right foot and pulse here. Otherwise, I rotate that over so that I get that oblique to fire up a little stronger, and then I pulse that bottom leg. I can have the head down. I can have the head lifted. Find what serves you for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, last 3, 2. Now hold the legs still. It's lifted and we pulse the upper body. Now check it out. If I don't want to pulse my head off the floor, I keep the head down. I keep the leg lifted if I can, and I pump the arms. So I'm trying to cause disruption, whether that's from the arms here, whether that's from the upper body lifting here. It's controlled, so we're trying to not wrench on the neck to lift it. It's a small, little tight contraction where you're trying to slide your rib to the hip. Slide your rib to the hip. For 4, 3, last 2, and 1. Now bring that right knee in so you're in a figure 4 stretch from there. Lift up, pump the arms. Try and take your tailbone, anchor it into the mat, strong and tight, keeping the abdominals scooped in. See if you can hover that right foot. Optional. So again, I'm here, here, or here. Abdominals are pulled in as tight as you can for 8, 7. So we're going to go from a bridge pulse to this pump of the arms. Last 2 and 1. Your right foot comes down, your heel is close to your bottom, the head is on the mat, and then pulse at the very top. Now for some, you may want to be down here, setting your hip down, lifting it, setting your hip down, lifting it. Some may want 2 feet on the floor. Some may feel good pulsing that small little movement at the very top. Find what feels good for you. We're trying to activate and squeeze that right glute. For 8, 7. See if you can go just a little tighter on that lift. For 4, 3, last 2, and 1. Set your hip down, lift your body and pump. Hollow your abdominals. So you scoop and hollow the abs in for 8, 7, 6. See if you can pull a little tighter. 4, 3, 2, and switch. Heel is close to your bottom. Pulse up. See if you can squeeze just a little bit tighter. If you're feeling good there, releve the right foot. Now we talk about in class that if you're wearing a high heel shoe during the day, then we don't want to do more of that position for the foot. We may want to lift the toes instead. Hopefully right now you're not having to wear high heel shoes around, but if you are, lift the toes instead of lifting the heel, or if that feels like a better, more productive movement for you, switch that up if you want. For 4, a little bit tighter. 3, last 2, Final set, hip comes down, scoop and hollow the abs, lift up and pump. See if you can draw the shoulder blades just a little higher. Press that tailbone down just a little deeper. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Heel close to your bottom, head comes down, pulse. Squeeze that right glute. For 8, 7, hollowing the abdominals in, squeezing that right glute as strong as you can. For 4, then we have an isometric hold. Last 2 and 1. Hold your right hip up and then take that left foot, reach it to the ceiling, and then tap it to the foot or to the knee. So that foot comes up, then tap, up, then tap. You can set this heel down. You can set this hip down. Find what you like. Now watch the right leg. Lift it, drop it, lift it, drop it. Each movement of the weight of that left leg is going to pull and contract the right side. Use the strength of your quadricep to straighten that knee. Pressing the shoulders down into your mat. We have 4 more. 3, 2, last 1. Now just the straight leg down and up. Point, flex, point, flex, point, flex, point, flex. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, last 2. Last thing in this series, take your left foot to the ceiling, pulse this right glute up for 8, 7. Set the foot down if you want, it's all good. Last 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hips come down, lay your left leg down, pull your right foot up, and take it across the left. So we'll come into that same position in case that helps. So your left leg is straight, your right leg crosses over. If that feels like it's wrenching my back, then I'm going to take it same side. It's that lateral power of the obliques that we're after. You can have your head down, you can have your head lifted, or we can twist. Draw the navel in tight towards the spine, lifting that same thing. I can do the upper body without the leg. Play around with it. You want to be challenged. You want to feel slightly outside your comfort zone with a little bit of joy left. So if the movement you choose has taken all your joy away, change it. Find some other way to go through that movement so that you keep a little joy through that challenge. For 4, 3, last 2, and 1. Cross it over, pulse the left leg up. So again, I could choose to have the right foot here and pulse. I could choose to set my head down. It could be that this straight leg pulls on my back, so I need to unwrap this so I can pulse from a bent knee. And then we just want to evaluate those different tightnesses so we know where our body's too tight to move. For 8, 7, 6, same thing with the head down. Last 4, draw your ribs deep into the mat. Last 2, and 1, hold that left foot up and then pulse the upper body. You're trying to take the ribs, slide it down to the hips. Now you could do the same thing, pumping the arms instead so that you don't have to lift the neck off the floor. So if you know your neck's a hot spot, you don't want to flare it up for the rest of the day. Keep that out of it and pump the arms instead. For 8, 7, 6, see if you can pull a little tighter. 4, 3. Last 2. And 1. Slide your left foot in. Your right foot is on that left knee, that figure 4. And then lift up, pump the arms. Press your tailbone down. It's going to want to tuck under. You're pressing the tailbone down, head up or down. And then from there, left leg up or down. Every day that should feel a little bit different. So some days it feels good to be up here. Some days here. Some days here. Check in, individualize it. So if we check in every day, it's going to look different every day. So if it's starting to look the same each time we move, we want to just evaluate how much we're connecting our brain to our body and what it needs. For 4, tailbone stays pressed down. Last 3, 2, and 1. Pull this left foot close to your bottom and then lift, little pulses at the very top. So remember, the first set, we keep that foot flat. We're just waking up the glute a little bit, opening up this hip a little bit, pulling the abdominals in a little stronger, and then pressing the shoulders into your mat. Squeezing that glute nice and strong. I could come lower to the ground, do it a little bit more from a pelvic tuck. It's not big, so we want the movement to be small, but powerful. So it's coming from cinching the glute, release, cinching the glute, release, not wrenching the back up. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, tuck the navel in a little bit tighter. Last 2, and 1. Set the hips down, lift the head if you choose, pump the arms. See if you can pull the shoulder blades a little deeper away from the mat. Hollowing the abdominals, so you take the navel, draw that in a little bit tighter, pull the ribs down just a little bit lower. For 4, last 3, last 2. Now, option on this one, when we slide that left foot in, releve if you want, head comes down, and then pulse that hip up, squeeze your left glute. Now, my option, I could also opt to dig the heel in and lift the toes instead, activating more of my anterior tibialis into the gastrocnemius. So you choose what position feels best. Both challenging in different ways, but our goal is that we're just not bouncing into that movement. It's easy to just let the joints, the tendons, and the ligaments bounce into that momentum. I want you to think you're squeezing your glute. That's what's lifting your bottom. So the only thing making that hip rise and fall is that you're cinching the glute, releasing it a tiny bit, cinching it, releasing it, cinching it, releasing it. For 8, see if you can pull your belly button in a little bit tighter. Last 4, 3, 2, and 1. Last 1, set your hips down. You choose your position and pump. 3 of 3, knowing it's our last one. See if you can pull in just a little bit stronger. Abdominals are tight. Tailbone is anchored. You can press this hip out, this knee out just a little bit deeper if you want. For 4, 3, last 2, and 1. Set your head down, pull this heel close to your bottom, and pulse up. Small little contraction of that glute at the very top. Again, I want to keep it a little bit lower. If I know that my back's been fussy, use it to kind of work through the lumbar spine instead, and then just tuck the pelvis under instead of coming up to that high point. So again, here, I'm still activating my glute. I'm just doing a different, it's more like a hip roll instead of a hip lift. Both are great exercises. So pay attention to what you need and then go strong there. For 8, 7, your left glute and hamstring are nice and warm. 4, 3, 2, strong abs. Last 1, hold the hip up. Take your right leg, point, and then tap it to the knee. Now again, I might choose to set this down. I may choose to set this down. So figuring out where I can get the most out of the effort is the most important piece of it. Play around with the different positions. For 8, 7, 6, trying to use the strength of your quadricep to get that knee to all the way lengthen out. Now that leg will come up to the ceiling, down, lift to the knee, floor to the knee, floor to the knee, strong left side. Squeeze your left glute just a little bit tighter. We have 4 more. Last 3. Last 2. Last 1. Now just the straight leg. Flex and point. Flex and point. Set your left hip down if you like. Set your left foot down if you like. But keep that movement nice and strong through the right leg. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, last 2, and 1. After that last one, put that foot back on the knee, just 8 little pulses, work it out. 7, 6, 5, 4. Now in 3, we're going to tuck the knee to the chin. You can also do the same thing with the head down. Last 1, roll the back down, left knee to the chin and switch, single leg stretch. So again, here, pull your belly button in, and then if that feels good, straighten the leg that comes in. Nice and strong with both legs for 8, 7. Don't look at the clock, Cindy. You'll be so sad. It's almost over. We have to get those Cindy's in real quick. Last 2. Last 1. Now last thing on our back, small little kicks. You have 2 options. You can kick it head down, head lifted, on your elbows, or we prop up onto our hands and slide the legs right to left. Short little set. So as you come into that, you have real gentle pressure on your hands. Abdominals are nice and tight. Options one more time. I could be here. Knees could be bent or straight. I could be here. I can come up onto my elbows, but I don't sink this way. Press the heart open. Or I prop up, gentle pressure on my hands. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and circle the legs. So how that looks, if you're on your hands, you circle nice and low. If you're on your back, that circle is going to come higher up. So if I'm on my back, then the legs are more tracing a circle on the ceiling. I can do that with my abdominals scooped in any of those positions. So the most important thing is how I'm holding my core, my torso. I can be here, my knees can be bent. I cause the same disruption. I can be on my elbows. It would be kind of halfway in between or up on those hands. Reverse your circle. Nice and strong. For 8, 7, 6, knees bent or straight. Last 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and bring the legs in, round your back, take your hands, clasp behind your thighs, pull back. Move around a little bit. You're creating your own bind, your own tension. Scoot the navel to spine. And lift your heart. Turn yourself over so you're on your hands and knees. All right, Cindy. Dig your toes into the floor. Lift the tailbone. Pressing the heels towards the floor. Scoop the navel in. Now high hover. Set your knees down if you like. Low hover. High hover. Low hover. High hover. Low hover. High hover. Low hover. High hover. Low hover. High hover, nice and strong. Low hover. High hover. Low hover. We have 2 more. High hover. Low hover. Now listen, high hover, hop or walk in, chair pose. Scoop your belly in. So watch, hands come down, hop or walk back. Hop or walk in, chair pose. So we're articulating, so you move the hip, draw the hands down, hop or walk back, hop or walk in, chair pose. Now from there, hands down, hop or walk back, hop or walk in, chair pose. If I don't like that, so keep going, hands down, hop or walk back, option, hop or walk in, chair pose. Continue that movement, or hands come down, crawl forward, keeping the knees with whatever flexion you want, crawl back, chair pose. Hands down, crawl forward. So again, you're doing one or the other, or a combination of both. This is closer to inchworm with the movement. You come down, you scoop and hollow, you crawl. You don't have to come into full extension, and then you come back and hold that chair pose. Still continuing in the way that brings you joy, whether that's that inchworm or that plank to chair pose. With 4 more, hands down, hop or walk back, hop or walk in, chair pose. 3 more, hands down, hop or walk back, hop or walk in, chair pose, hands down, hop or walk back, hop or walk in, chair pose. 1 more time, hands down, hop or walk back, hop or walk in, chair pose, hands down, hop or walk back. From here, low hover, here we go. High hover, knees up or down. Low hover, high hover, strong. Low hover, high hover. 4 more. Low hover, high hover, low hover, high hover. 2 more, friends. Low hover, high hover, low hover, high hover. And this time you come into a low hover, lay your body down, reach your arms and your legs away from each other and swim. So when we're coming into swimming, you have a couple options. Check it out. I can swim with just my arms with my feet down. Or if my neck doesn't like that, I stack the hands and I kick the legs alone. So I'm working my posterior muscle chain, or I do all 4. Or if I want, I can extend, place my toes and hands down, high hover, extension, high hover. I could also extension into child's pose. Extension into child's pose. Find what you prefer. We have 4 more. Last 3. Last two, so strong. Last one. Now, high hover. Last round, team. Low hover. High hover, treasure it. This is it. Low hover. High hover. You could hold a plank. Low hover. High hover. Low hover. High hover. So strong. Low hover. High hover. Low hover. High hover. Low hover. High hover. Low hover. High hover. 4 more. Low hover. High hover. 3 more. Low hover. High hover. 2 more. Low hover. High hover. Last one. Low hover. Now high hover, your option. You pull the knee to chest with impact or without, or child's pose. So check it out. I can be here, pulling my knee to the opposite elbow. I can be here with a little hop into that, or I could be here. Big deep breath in for 8, 7, 6, 5. Nice and strong, increasing your blood flow just a little bit. Last 2 and 1. Dig the toes into the floor, lift the tailbone, walk the hands back. Slowly, 1 vertebrae at a time, roll yourselves up. And again, deep breath in, arms up. Exhale, drop the shoulders and hinge. Scoop your belly button in, round your back. Walk your hands forward. Low hover, don't worry. Now press through, thighs come down, flatten your feet so you look like so. Thighs are resting, feet are flat, look up. Lengthening your hip flexors, pull the shoulders down, look over your right shoulder. Look over your left shoulder. Come back to center. And listen, as we come back, our left knee comes forward and we press back into pigeon. So we just pulled that left knee in front and then found our way back. You could be right here, nice and tall, moving around into your hip. You could be here on your elbows. You could be all the way down. This is that one that also feels really good in a chair where you have your leg resting on something elevated. Inhale. Exhale, go ahead and come back up. You're on your hands and knees, so you press back into that hand and knee position, and then just pull the right leg through. Sink back into pigeon so that left leg lengthens back. The lengthening of that left leg is going to pull your right glute a little more taut. Move around, you can stay upright. You can be on those elbows, all the way down on that forehead. Nice big deep breath in. And exhale, go ahead and push back up. Hands are right underneath the shoulders. Dig your left toes into the floor. Press back into high hover. Low hover. Press your chest through thighs. Stay up. Press back into that inverted V. Walk your hands back. Dangle your arms. And then this is where we reset our body. Whatever stress we can let go of, whether that's physical, emotional, mental, feeling overstressed at work, feeling overstressed at home, whatever it is you're carrying, let's let that go. Even if it's just for a moment, you may pick it right back up when we stand up, but even if you just give yourself 10 seconds to relax and release the stress, the fear, anything that's weighing you down. And then one vertebrae at a time, roll yourselves up, squeeze your behind, pull your belly button in, roll your shoulders back and down so the heart is lifted. Take a nice big deep breath in, reach your arms up. And exhale one more time. Nice big deep breath in, arms up. And exhale, give yourselves a hand. Good work tonight, you guys. Thank you so much for jumping in, joining me, being so open-minded to doing this in such a different and unique way, and for figuring out for figuring out all the technology. So I'm really grateful for Lisa and anyone who jumped on this morning. I'm really grateful that it was smooth tonight, because I looked at the usage, because YouTube, anytime there's a glitch, they send like a chart as to why things happen. And when you look at like all the different internet companies and all the different like streaming stuff, it's like you see this huge like spectrum of stuff from like 8:30 to noon, and then 3 a.m. is wide open. So if we ever need really good internet, 3 a.m. But I think we're good with this time slot. I think you guys, it's pretty seamless. I will say hi. I know Grace didn't come down and say hi. So, and Cindy, didn't it feel like it kind of went fast tonight-ish? And I didn't go crazy over, so that helps too. Anyway, I love you guys. I love that too, Marnie. I loved rumbling with Cindy. It sounds way more exciting than it maybe was. But thanks so much for being here. And if you have any requests for next week, let me know. We will use, I know I was super excited, Cindy. It felt like I wanted to do one more thing, and then I said, no, leave it. And then it'll feel like it went by really fast instead of dragging on. So I'm getting there. You can teach an old dog new tricks. So anyway, if you have any requests for next week, let me know. The things that I would love to use coming up is a ball, if you have one. But if we don't, then we can compromise and use, I want to do that back stretch. So if you have a towel, peppier music, yeah, that's, people request all different things. But if I do peppy music on one time, just understand those who like it calm, that Cindy asked for it. Just kidding. Anyway, I love you guys. I will talk to you soon.